You're watching the 2026 Shriners Children's Hospital Clearwater Invitational. The sun setting on day 2. 13 games almost done here in Clearwater, and more fantastic finishes. We just saw one of our teams, UCLA, lose in 8 innings against Oklahoma State. They will take on the Missouri Tigers, who are off to a slow start in 2026, trying to respond after a loss to NC State earlier today. Alongside a former SEC Player of the Year, Madison Shipman, I'm Chucky Kemp. UCLA, fantastic start last weekend. Offense exploded. First loss of the year. Now it's all about how they respond.
The good thing about adversity is you can see who on your team is going to step up in some big moments. When we think about UCLA, we think about the big names. We think about Jordan Woolery, Megan Grant, Taylor Tinsley, but there are also some other names on this UCLA team that you absolutely need to get to know. One of those names is a freshman, Bri Alejandre. She came up big for them with a game-tying solo home run in their game earlier today against Oklahoma State. But also what stood out to me was her presence on defense, her aggressiveness, her fearlessness over at third base made an impact on a couple of sacrifice bunts that Oklahoma State was trying to lay down to get runners over into scoring position. When you're able to make those types of defensive plays, not only can it shift the ball game, but it takes some pressure off of your pitcher in the circle. And I thought even though they lost that game, she was really a standout for the Bruins. The one common denominator is that both of these teams have coming into today's game is trying to respond. How do you respond to tough losses? Missouri was 2-4 coming into this weekend. They ended up losing their opening game of this Clearwater Invitational to NC State 13-7. So how do you respond when your team faces that adversity?
Well, this would be the one to help them respond. A junior from Surprise, Arizona, grew up in Columbia, moved to Arizona when she was 13. It's Marissa McCann. She's been in all kinds of big situations for Missouri, went to Supers with them, in which they lost to Duke and Columbia back in 2024.
I agree with you. It's got to start in the circle for Missouri. She's the anchor of this staff, has good velocity, can touch 70. A lot of upspin on her pitches.
First pitch is hit out to left field and caught out there by Emma Jackson for the first out. So that's a good start against Riley Slimp in this UCLA Bruins lineup. And is it dangerous? Maybe the best duo in the country, Megan Grant and Jordan Woolery, just absurd numbers. A season ago, they hit 10 combined home runs in 5 games a week ago. UCLA had 23 as a team. They added 2 more. One of them from Grant in their loss against Oklahoma State.
And we still saw that power from this lineup in game 1 earlier today. What impressed me the most too, and interesting that Marissa McCann starts out this at-bat with a changeup to Megan Grant, was the home run came off of the changeup in an 0-2 count.
Oh-1, Grant right side. Bounces up nicely for Sophie Smith. 2 outs.
Not too often that you see the second baseman playing back into the grass, but that's exactly where Sophie Smith was over at second base, respecting the power that Megan Grant has, especially to the pull side. She was playing all the way in the grass.
Saw Oklahoma State with some creative defensive alignments against UCLA, specifically against Grant.
Infield playing deep again with Jordan Woolery now stepping into that batter's box.
Woolery was 0 for 4 in the loss against Oklahoma State. Maybe one of the only times those numbers will be associated with her all year long. Had 4 multi-hit games in their first 5 a week ago. 4 multi-RBI games last week as well. UCLA has not been retired in order this season. This is game number 7 for the Bruins, and they have not gone 1, 2, 3 yet.
See her numbers so far in opening weekend. It was a whopping 10 for 15 for Woolery, 667 batting average. She watches that one go by for strike 2, and the response that she had too. I went back and watched game 1 that UCLA had. She ended up striking out in the first at-bat of that game and then went on to hit a couple of singles. Not fazed by the results.
2-2 hard hit. Nice play at second base. Took a second to get the throw off, but for the first time in 2026, UCLA is retired in order. Nice start from Marissa McCann. Game 2 for UCLA, they will send Bryn Nally to the circle, sophomore from Garden Grove, California, one of 4 new faces on this pitching staff. Spent her last year at Long Beach State as a freshman, was All Big West honorable mention, won 6 games, a 3.22 ERA. What do you expect to see?
Low 60s for her, that drop ball to both sides of the plate. Now she will mix in some pitches that have some upspin to them, the curveball, the rise ball, screwball, and a changeup. But for her, I think it's just to continue to set the tone early. She knows she's got a great offense behind her. She's got a great defense behind her. Go out there, throw strikes, and force Missouri to put something in play.
We have seen 4 arms used by UCLA so far this season as Nally delivers strike 1 to Kaylee Langer. Langer homered earlier today in their loss to NC State. She's been one of their best bats out of the gates, a senior from Liberty, Missouri. Out in front of that pitch, falls behind 0-2.
Langer batting more towards the bottom of the lineup in that first game today that you mentioned, Chucky, and now Coach Larissa Anderson moving her all the way to the top of the order.
Tigers trying to figure it out offensively right now. They entered Clearwater hitting just .240 as a team. As Langer fouls that off, still down 0-2. Their wins coming over Liberty and BYU, which are actually, those are 2 quality wins. BYU and Liberty had great seasons a year ago, but losses to Penn State, Oregon, South Alabama, and at UCF, and then NC State today. And Langer strikes out on the foul tip, squeezed behind the dish by Mujica.
Good pitch by Bryn Nally, working that drop ball in on the hands of Kaylee Langer. Just can't get her hands extended out in front of her. Pretty good rotation too. A little bit of arm side run on this pitch as well. So not only is it dropping down, but for Langer, looks like it's gonna stay more middle. And as that pitch gets closer to her, ends up being right there on her hands.
Saw the game 1 starter Taylor Tinsley in the dugout there cheering on Bryn Nally and company. There's Tinsley, who gave up 3 runs in the first inning and then was just lights out until the very end. And even then, didn't ever really give up a big swing after that first inning.
Yeah, she ended up with 8 strikeouts earlier today against Oklahoma State. And thinking back to that 8th inning, a lot of infield singles, ground balls that just happened to go Oklahoma State's way. And a lot of credit to Oklahoma State, too, for finding a way to score a run. Because Taylor Tinsley was so good out there in the circle, they were just putting the ball on the ground, moving runners over, even when Brie Alejandre was making some great plays defensively. Big walk-off win for the Cowgirls.
1-1 to Sydney Forrester. And speaking of talented freshmen, Missouri's got a couple of them that are going to get a lot of opportunities this year. Sydney Forrester, a freshman from Miami, Oklahoma. Had a hit in 5 of her first 6 games as a college player. 0 for 4 in the game earlier today against NC State. And that's a rip into the stands foul.
I feel like if I'm in the stands, I'm bringing a glove with me. Maybe try to snag some of those foul balls.
Some catcher's gear.
Some bubble wrap.
Talking about a glove. I'm not catching anything out there. I guess if you're sitting by me. I don't know.
I'm trying to make a catch. Chucky's diving out of the way.
2-2. Forrester, deep to left, no doubt about it. For the first time in her career, it's a long ball.
Home run, Sydney Forrester.
Jackie, you and I yesterday were talking a lot about how when you hit the ball right on the sweet spot, there is a specific sound that it makes. It does not get much sweeter than this swing by Sydney Forrester. She knows it off of the bat. Look at her screaming, "Let's go," as she's running down that first baseline. She knows just how important it is for this offense to get going too. There was no doubt about it. Absolutely launched that solo shot.
Missouri strikes first. Nally comes back with a first pitch strike to another talented freshman and someone that their head coach Larissa Anderson called the future of the program. This is Abby Carr from Wildwood, Missouri. Two-way player. You'll see him in the circle as well this weekend. Big cut at that to fall behind 0-2. Here is Larissa Anderson, 2 super regionals. First in 2021, then again in 2024, when they were so close to going to Oklahoma City, but lost to Duke in Columbia. She's hoping the likes of Forrester and Carr and Addie Waits and some others in this freshman class can help lift this program back to those heights. And on the other side, for UCLA, the big question for this team, and we've talked about it on the air, off the air, but it is who is the arm behind Taylor Tinsley? Who can pick up the slack that's going to be left when you lose talented pitchers like Addison Fisher and Caitlin Terry?
You can see their staff from last year, of course. Taylor Tinsley, we saw her in game 1 earlier today against Oklahoma State. Jada Cecil graduating, Addison Fisher transferring to Georgia, Caitlin Terry transferring to Texas Tech. So who is going to step up and fill those roles? Very excited about Bryn Nally, who we're seeing today, but also Natalie Cable's another name too, that the UCLA Bruins are looking forward to watching her step up for this pitching staff.
Two from Nally. Big swing and a miss there from Carr for out number 2.
Nice bounce back there from Nally after giving up that home run to Forrester. This is that drop ball dropping off of the table again. Good movement, working down in the zone. The arm side run, to me, is a good factor for her to be able to use that pitch on both sides of the plate.
Last chance in the first, in the cleanup spot, Abby Hay, who takes the first pitch inside for strike 1. I'm curious, we saw Abby Carr just a second ago walk off, and she was talking to Stefania Abrascato. What did you want to hear from your teammates? Like, what was the info you needed in that spot?
I like to know what pitches were coming in certain locations. Were they throwing inside? Were they throwing outside? Really tried to keep it as simple as possible, but be able to get across as much needed information in a short amount of time. You're trying to make those quick adjustments, so I really wanted to know, were they throwing inside, were they throwing outside, did we see change-ups, those types of pieces of information. I remember my senior season batting second. Our leadoff batter was a freshman, Megan Gear, and she was great for us that season. I wanted to know what the first pitch of the ball game, what was the first pitch out of the pitcher's hand, because I figured they wanted to throw their best pitch for strike 1, first pitch of the ball game, and that's what I would make my game plan off of.
Ground ball left side, scooped up by the shortstop Garcia, and that'll do it for the first inning. Missouri strikes first.
This is exactly what you wanted if you're the Missouri Tigers. Get on the board early, and how about doing it in no doubt fashion? Sydney Forrester blasting that one long into the night, all the way to the ocean to put the Tigers on top.
Softball over 4 days. Look at these. 1-run games. More 1-run games than run rules. No surprise at all. 5 1-run games. You know who's had 3 of those, Maddie?
We have.
We have.
Yes. I almost feel like there should be like another stat right there. We've got 3 of the close 1-run ball games.
I don't mean to brag, but if you want a good game, you're in the right place.
I thought you were dropping in a Kanaya Bragg pun right there.
I leave those to you. Here is Kanaya Bragg to lead things off in the second for UCLA, who went 1-2-3 in the first.
Really what it comes down to, too, I know we've talked about it at the start of this tournament, we're going to continue to talk about it, is the depth of the competition that you're seeing down here at this Clearwater Invitational. So many great teams and teams that have strengths in different areas. You're seeing teams that have a lot of home run pop top to bottom like we've seen from UCLA. You look at a team like Missouri who's really trying to find their footing and who they are as an offense, and a great way to get things going is leading the way by the freshman, Sydney Forrester. Maybe you have some other teams that are led by some veterans or freshmen that are stepping up in big roles. That's what makes this tournament so fun, is we get a chance to see all of these teams, see these teams compete against high-level competition while they're figuring out who they are as a team as well.
1-2 from McCann, bounces in to Bragg. Marissa McCann, their top returner, threw a team-high 148 innings pitched last year. A lot of her and Sierra Harrison. They do lose what has been an integral part of their pitching staff for the last 3 years, Taylor Pinnell, who transferred to Texas A&M, so she's here this weekend. Bragg goes opposite field, foul territory. She'll get another chance. Pinnell, who transferred, led them in ERA last year. She's really primarily a reliever. She started a few games last year, but the first 2 seasons she was maybe the best closer in the country, led the nation her first year. Throw to first, not in time. Bragg beats it out for an infield single.
Good job by Kanaya Bragg for hustling straight out of the box. She hits this one off of the end of the bat. You can see how deep Sanaya Hill is playing at third base. She charges this one, throws it off of her right foot too. About all you can do as a third baseman to try to make a play, but a lot of credit to Kanaya Bragg for hustling out of the box to be able to beat that one out for an infield single.
Up high for strike one to Bree Alejandra. I told you about Bree in the open. Super talented freshman, California native, went to Los Altos High School. Hit .472 as a senior there with 23 extra base hits. Played travel ball with the shortstop, Alina Garcia. Foul ball coming over from the field next door.
2 in a row now.
Is it? I missed one. Sharp eyes here in the booth, clearly.
It's okay. You were looking down at your scorebook. You get a pass.
And fouled straight back, strike 2. We are the second latest game to start tonight. Florida State, Florida Atlantic is the last game. Starts at 7 Eastern, just over yonder. Duke, LSU, bottom of the 6th. LSU at the plate with 2 outs, trailing by a couple. Tigers need a late rally. Certainly they've got the offense to do it. I wonder if Marissa Young's going to come over here and watch this game with her daughter playing for UCLA.
Once that game ends, I'm sure she'll peek her head around and watch Jolena. Jolena had a couple of really hard line drives in the last game that just happened to go straight to people.
Cassidy Curd in the circle. It's another one of those names. We talk so much about kind of the big 3 of Pickens, Kennedy, and Fromm, but there's so many good senior pitchers that are just right there on that next tier.
We saw Ruby Malin earlier today against UCLA. Cassidy Curd, another one of those arms. Just so many great pitchers in matchups that we have down here in Florida.
Avery Hodge was the LSU shortstop a season ago. They moved her to third base because they got Kylie Edwards in the portal from Mississippi State. She's at the plate for LSU. That's in the dirt from McCann, and that will allow Kanaya Bragg to take second.
Another example of heads-up base running, too, for Kanaya advancing over into scoring position there.
And Duke is now going to be 3 outs away from taking down LSU in that top 20 matchup. They're going to the 7th inning next door. We'll keep an eye on that game. Two-two count to Alejandre. Looking for home run number 2 of the day. Oh, that got her. I shook that hand at first, but hopefully she's all right.
It looks like McCann was trying to work that rise ball up in on the hands, making sure that she wasn't going to miss over the heart of the plate, trying to ride this one inside, and it just gets away from her. Ooh. Forearm or the top of the hand. Either way, you know that does not feel good.
First pitch swinging, shallow right field. Forrester coming in and taking control of it for the first out. That retires Alina Garcia.
It's a really big out number 1, too. Getting that fly ball out to right field shallow enough to where nobody's able to advance a base. Forrester taking control, calling that fly ball, calling off her teammates, and everybody staying right where they are.
Now the designated player, Ramsey Suarez. Did not see Ramsey in the first game at the plate. Was 3 for 6 on opening weekend, a double, a few RBIs in Temecula, California.
Couple of blankets out in the stands as the sun is going down. It is getting just a little bit chillier.
I'm with the folks from California here. I'm a little chilly in the booth.
Oh, there's the setup, the blanket and the pom-poms.
I'm also from Missouri, so I understand if the Missouri folks are a little, well, I was going to say a little tougher, but we're bundled up there too. Popped up, foul territory. Hay tracking it, and it's out of play. Crowds have been incredible. That foul ball almost found him over there. All bundled up.
I feel like we need to get some of those Clearwater blankets. Those look very cozy.
I don't know if our crew's doing us any favor popping that off the bug that it's 64 and it feels like 64. I feel like maybe sounds like I'm whining a little bit. Outside ball 2.
That's when you know it's great softball weather, when we're talking about it being a little bit chilly when it's 64 degrees.
Certainly have not been outside practicing a lot in Columbia. The weather being the way it's been, that's fouled straight back. It's battle brewing.
That's a great point because Missouri now has been down here 2 weekends in a row. They were down here in Clearwater playing last weekend. They ended up playing a midweek in Orlando at UCF, lost to UCF earlier this week, and then they're back here in Clearwater playing again in this invitational.
Swing and a miss. McCann wins the battle, and after back-to-back base runners, it's back-to-back big outs.
Really good off-speed pitch here from McCann. Pulls the string on it. Love to see all of that rotation, even on that changeup. That's where you get the deceptiveness, and that's oftentimes where you get batters to swing so far out in front of that off-speed pitch.
Another Bruin that we did not see in game 1. Sofia Mujica gets the start behind the plate. Alexis Ramirez was the catcher in game 1. Mujica was 4 for 8 at the plate on opening weekend, 3 home runs. So if she hit it, it left the yard.
4 RBIs last weekend as well.
And that was a home run swing.
Little extra juice on that rise ball. I know it says it's coming in about 63, but for whatever reason, that one sounded like it was coming in about 67.
She had 2 home runs in her season debut against Northern Colorado. She hit a home run in her final high school at bat to tie the California career home run record with 60 for Granite Hills High School in the San Diego area.
We've got a little bit of a defensive shift happening in the outfield as well. The infield is playing pretty deep, but the outfield is shaded more towards the right side. One of the home runs that Mujica hit last weekend, I even wrote down in my notes, really good extension on the outside pitch.
Little off speed, stays with it in the left field. Lisa Fernandez going to hold the runner, Bragg, at third base.
Marissa McCann tried to come back in there with the changeup, but this is where that extension can pay off in different ways, not just on outside pitches, not just on home runs, but giving you a few extra inches on the bat to be able to adjust to an off-speed pitch. You see her let go with the top hand too, goes straight out to Emma Jackson, who's positioned perfectly to field that ground ball in the shift, and because of that shift, it prevented Kanaya Bragg from trying to score on that base hit out to left.
Down to the 9-hole, Jolena Lamar in her first 2 at-bats against Oklahoma State. She only saw 3 pitches, but hit 2 laser line drives to the left side of the infield. They were both caught. And we mentioned Marissa Young, maybe coming over to watch after Duke finishes up. This is her daughter. Jolena actually played for her dad in travel ball. James Lamar coached her team. In the dirt, ball 1. McCann gets the inside corner, strike 2.
I've got my eyes on her feet and where she sets up in the batter's box to see if she's going to move up towards the front or if she's going to stay in the back. We even saw her do both within the same at-bat in the last game against Oklahoma State. Looks like she's sitting right in the back of the box now with this 2-strike count.
Big pitch. And did she go? She did. McCann, a big fist pump as she strands the bases loaded in the second.
Coming through in the clutch is Marissa McCann. After the first 2 batters reach base safely in this inning, she ends up with 2 strikeouts, and the Bruins go scoreless.
Which they missed the postseason after that super regional appearance in 2024, picked 14th in the SEC. Kentucky was the team picked behind them. 10 newcomers, 8 of them are true freshmen. We're going to see a lot of those freshmen try to make an impact early in this season. Some already have. They're just trying to figure it out right now. They've had a tough schedule to start. You said they were here in Clearwater last week, then UCF midweek, here for the Clearwater Invitational. They need to figure it out right now before they hit a stretch in their schedule where they can really pile up some wins.
Some new players, new faces on the team, but also some new coaches on their coaching staff as well. Jake Epstein in his first season with the Tigers as the hitting coach. Jason Gwynn also in his first season with the Tigers as well. Bella Norton returns from last season's staff, and of course, head coach Larissa Anderson. So there's a lot of new faces within this Missouri Tigers program, and they're just learning who they are as a team and what's going to click for them in order to get wins, not just here, but down the stretch.
Abrascato into center. Took a second for Slimp to get a beat on it, but makes the catch, 1 out.
Had the opportunity to call Missouri a couple of times last season, and there were times where they were playing well. Coach Larissa Anderson said they were playing well, they just weren't playing well enough to win those games. So what is it that's going to take them over the edge, whether it's a defensive play or a clutch hit here and there, maybe a strikeout by some of their pitchers? What is it that's going to get them some wins in some of these games rather than the losses? They did have some great seniors that graduated too. I think of Julia Crenshaw in the year that she had last season. So much fun to watch. But it also gives a lot of players opportunities to step up and take on some of those roles.
Shania Hill is one of them, getting an opportunity here. She watches that pitch in the dirt. I mentioned Missouri's going to have a chance to stack up some wins. They've got the McNeese tournament next. They'll play Houston twice, McNeese twice, Louisiana. I've heard Louisiana's hitting coach is really good, by the way.
Familiar last name, right?
Yeah, yeah.
My dad, Bill Shipman, joining the staff down in Louisiana with head coach Hallie Habits.
Another one in the dirt. That one actually jumped up and hit Shania Hill, so she'll take first with one out. So Missouri, they're going to get a chance to play some opponents where if they can put some things together this weekend, it could really lead to them getting on a good run. Ooh.
Oh, looks like it got her right on the back knee. Bounced it down into the dirt. And as a batter in the batter's box, you do not have to make a move to get out of the way. So a lot of credit to Shania Hill as she's working out that right leg right now for just hanging in there and wearing that one and taking her base.
One on, one out, bottom of the second for Emma Jackson. So we showed you two transfers. Emma Jackson is one of them. Spent the last 2 years at East Carolina. Hit .362 with 33 doubles, 34 home runs, and 104 RBIs. Line shot, double play. Right to Alejandre, who's having a heck of a day at the hot corner.
Seems like no matter where she's playing over at third base, the ball finds Brie Alejandre. Line drive right into her glove, fires it over to first base for the 5-3 double play to end the inning. How about that UCLA defense? Back, a tough extra inning loss to Oklahoma State, but how do the Bruins bounce back against the Missouri Tigers? And for the Tigers, it comes down to flat out execution in every single facet of the game. Defensively, pitching, making sure that you're hitting your spots, and also offensively, executing the game plan, sticking to the process. That's what is going to be the key for both of these teams who are looking to bounce back. But the Bruins did a really good job of that last year. They were 11-1 following a loss.
First pitch swinging, top of the order, Riley Slimp. Soft line out to Abby Hay over at first base.
The next batter, the right fielder, Megan Grant.
And now Megan Grant. You see the numbers already this season. .571 average and 6 home runs that lead the nation. First pitch just misses for McCann, ball one. Two and oh.
We saw Oklahoma State shift to the right side of the field with Megan Grant up at the plate. Missouri doing the same thing again in her second at bat. Take a look where Sophie Smith is playing. She is what, 2-3 steps onto the outfield grass at second base. Now the infielder side of me thinks about if the ground ball were to come her direction, do you charge it to try to get it before the lip where the dirt meets the grass? I feel like I would. And also, if Megan Grant hits it hard enough, you might get a really nice hop over there in the grass.
3-1. Bottom of the seventh next door. LSU still down 2. Missouri up 1 here, still in the early stages. Grant swinging, and Marissa McCann battles back to a 3-2 count.
Earlier today against Oklahoma State, she found herself down in the count, 0-2, gets a changeup out of the hand of Riley Crandall, who had just entered the game. And what does Megan Grant do? She sends it for a ride outside the center field wall, catches a Lego on her way into home plate, too.
Popped off the handle. McCann takes care of it. Marissa McCann has had some really impressive moments in these first few innings.
She's made really big pitches to UCLA's biggest hitters. A little bit of a chuckle after that fly ball too, knowing that the right side of the infield was playing so far back, she had to be the one that went for that fly ball that hit off of the hands of Megan Grant. So far in this ball game, 2 2/3 innings, just giving up 2 hits, no walks. To me, that's the big number. You do not want to give up free passes to this UCLA lineup.
2 outs and nobody on for Jordan Woolery. Woolery 0 for 5 in the 2 games today now. Couldn't get her out last week. It's 667 on opening weekend. Falls behind 0-2. Had a 722 on base percentage, slugged 1,800. McCann's 0-2. Ooh, almost saw you leaning. I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, I saw Jordan Woolery starting to take a couple of steps over towards that left-handed batter's box, and the pop off of the net for some of these foul balls, it jumps right back onto the field. I don't think Jordan even noticed that that foul ball was coming by her. She was locked in. That Stefania Abriscato had to move around her to get that one.
Another 0-2. The off-speed drifts outside. 15 minutes till first pitch on ESPN Plus between Florida State and Florida Atlantic. Woolery up the middle, base hit, her first of the day. You can see she was fired up after that swing. It was in a tough count too.
And it looked like Marissa McCann came in with back-to-back changeups. Watch her track this pitch all the way in, some downward movement too. Looks like this was going to end up maybe about knee height, if not even lower. She reaches over, leans over the plate to still be able to muscle that one through up the middle, almost right underneath the legs of Marissa McCann in the circle.
Kanaya Bragg had an infield single her first trip to the plate. She led off the second inning. Now big swing going opposite field, tailing toward foul territory, and it will be foul.
Had that one landed in fair territory, that could have been trouble for this Missouri defense, because they were shaded another bit of shift where Sydney Forrester was playing more towards the pull side, so she's playing in the right center gap. So again, a lot of space between Forrester and that right field foul line.
Down low, ball 1.
Look at the sunset down here in Clearwater. Just an unbelievable venue.
It's a postcard right there that we just had from our crew.
Cannot say thank you enough too for our hardworking crew to, one, get everything set up for this weekend, but also being able to put all 40 of these games on our ESPN networks. It's what makes this invitational so incredibly special.
Strike 2. Our crew led by Aaron Snyder-Storin, our producer, director Johnny Hanna, graphics producer Meredith Brito, and our AD Megan Black.
Camera crew getting all these great shots.
Three and 2.
Good battle by Kanaya Bragg here too. Working the count.
Three-two pitch to Bragg. Bragg rips it to right center field, off the wall. Around comes Woolery, and she will score to tie it at 1 apiece.
Kanaya Bragg battling pitch after pitch until she could get something. She could get some barrel on. A 3-2 count, 2 outs, and she comes through in the clutch. Gets this pitch, it's a rise ball, supposed to be in on the hands, but she actually inside outs this pitch. Keeps her hands in tight towards her body, drives it the opposite direction into that right center gap, about a couple of feet away from knocking that one out of the park. First double this season for Kanaya Bragg.
Two for two in this game. Started with a 2-out single for Jordan Woolery, who was behind in the count 0-2, worked it to 1-2 and got a base hit.
And Jordan scoring all the way from first base on that double into the right center gap.
Quick visit from Abrascato to Marissa McCann. Bree Alejandre at the plate. Bounces in for ball 3. Alejandre swinging, shallow center field. Smith goes back to make the catch. UCLA gets one back. We are all tied up, and we'll talk to Kelly Inouye Perez next. For the bottom of the third, we are joined by the Bruins head coach, Kelly Inouye Perez. Coach, just in general, newer season right now, a lot of new faces on your team, but we're just seeing such an intensity and such a passion for the game from your team. Where does that come from?
I credit the upperclassmen. You know, I think a big part of how we play ball is culture, and the ability to be able to compete and have fun with it is something that we strive for. It's easy when it's easy. You know, when you're winning games and you're hitting the ball and everything's going really well, that's easy. But to maintain culture throughout an entire game is something that, you know, is in their control. So I'm expecting that, and the upperclassmen are taking over.
And Coach, one thing that is not easy is to be the player that bats behind Megan Grant and Jordan Woolery, but Kanaya Bragg has stepped up just as a sophomore in that spot. We've seen her come through twice now in this ball game. How is she able to come through for you guys in those moments?
You know, I think a big part of it is the ability to let our freshmen play. You know, Kanaya had some big opportunities last year. She came through, she didn't, and she kind of took the summer and said, I want to be that person that they can't just pitch around them. So for her to be able to come through in big moments like that, she's been preparing for it, but the experience that she gained from last year as playing as a freshman is a big part of what burns that fire in her gut.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Kanaya Bragg 2 for 2, the RBI double off the wall.
3-2 count in the third inning. You've got Jordan Woolery over at first base, and she clobbers this rise ball in on the hands, drives it the other way, a couple of feet, again, away from being a 2-run shot. Jordan Woolery fired up as Kanaya Bragg points back towards the dugout, but Coach Kelly Inouye Perez brings up a great point. To be able to have somebody in that spot, you have to want to be in that spot. You have to want to be in the position with the game on the line if a team were to pitch around Megan and Jordan, to want to be in that 4 spot, to be able to step up behind those two batters, and Kanaya Bragg did that so far in this game.
Bottom of the third. 8-9-1 for Missouri against Bryn Nally. Ground ball left side, handled by Alejandre. 1 out. For UCLA, you know what you're getting. If you're a player, if you're somebody watching these teams, you're playing against them. Kelly Inouye Perez has been there 20 years now as their head coach. She is just the 3rd head coach in a storied program's history. Sharon Backus, Sue Inquist, the other 2. They've all won national championships. Every decade they have won a national championship. Still looking for that first one here in the 2020s. The last one was 2019. A young star by the name of Rachel Garcia.
So many memorable names from these UCLA teams throughout so many decades.
Lifted to left field, line drive, home run, Sophie Smith. Her first of the season, hit just one all of last year.
That's a home run for Sophie Smith.
Another no-doubter off of the bat of these Missouri Tigers. Love the home run celebration. Abby A tossing Sophie Smith up into the air. Looks like a drop ball on the inner half, and she turns on this pitch, gets her barrel out in front of it, hits a line drive shot out to left field. Again, that sweet sound off of the bat. You just know it. Almost an Olympic-type lift right there. I'm thinking figure skating. Abby Hay with the lift. It's a perfect 10 in my book. I think I just combined gymnastics and figure skating, but you know what I meant, Chucky. You know what I meant.
I didn't know what you meant.
Still a perfect 10.
That's the good part about it. Like, you can say whatever there. I'm not going to know the difference.
The offense coming alive. First 7 games, 4 home runs. Tonight, 2 home runs.
Well, we talked about it. It's the process. It's the execution that you're asking for, but it's the process of a new assistant coaching staff that's coming in, maybe some different messaging, and maybe it's starting to click a little bit with this lineup.
We asked Coach Anderson just about the hitting for Missouri and maybe how it looks a little bit different. Coach Gwynn over at first base, and you've got hitting coach, Coach Epstein, in the dugout talking to his hitters while they're over there on offense. But she said the hitting plan's very much individualized for the team this season.
That is just pounded by Langer.
They're a team that really talks a lot about the motor preferences and where your body wants to be in its stance and what pitches does your swing want to go after. Being very specific per player.
Langer right side, base hit.
It almost looks like, to me, Chucky, a completely different Missouri offense than what we've seen coming into this ball game. The adjustment that we just saw Kaylee Langer make within the at-bat. She practically hit our bird friend's nest down beyond the left field wall on top of the light pole the pitch before, and then she gets a drop ball on the outer half and drives it the other way. The adjustability now that we're seeing with these swings is something that, in my opinion, was missing from this Missouri offense coming into this invitational. Even last game, that NC State game, mid-game interview, Coach Larissa Anderson felt that at times her offense was guessing at the pitches that were coming in there. They weren't on time with their swings. Not tonight. You're seeing a lot of on-time swings from Missouri.
8th year for Larissa Anderson in Columbia. Took over in 2019 after 17 years at Hofstra, the last 4 as the head coach. Kellyanne Perez talking to her young pitcher, Bryn Nally, in her first season working with her. There is some movement down the right field line for the Bruins. No one throwing yet, but maybe getting ready to. And this long meeting might be in part allowing that to get started. Sydney Summerdike, the transfer from Arizona, appears the most likely candidate to potentially be next up.
Could be a little of that, and it also could be some strategy with Sydney Forrester stepping up to the plate, because we saw what she did in her last at-bat. Tattooed a ball beyond the tree out in left field.
Forrester fresh off that first career home run in the first inning. Takes strike 1.
After pulling that ball to the left side, I'd imagine if I'm Bryn Nally, I'm going to try to work those drop balls low and away, force her to hit something different than what she saw in her last at-bat. There's that pitch away.
Right side, off the glove of Bragg at second. Langer had gone back, but is able to use the wheels to get to second base.
The intentional swings that we're seeing from Missouri, another one, a great example here from Forrester. Chucky, you and I were just talking about the drop balls away. Well, Sydney Forrester almost drops her barrel back behind her to be able to get to this drop. Kanaya Bragg tries to make a play on this line drive, hits off of her glove out into right field. Haley Langer, a few extra steps before she was able to get to second base because she wasn't sure if it was going to be a caught line drive, if she had to go back to first. Ends up making it safely, getting on over into scoring position. Another leader for this team, too, moving up into the leadoff spot, as we talked about earlier. Had a home run out to left field against NC State.
The new pitcher for the Bruins is number
That's 3 barreled up balls in a row, and that's going to do it for Bryn Nally. It's Sydney Summerdike when we come back. A third for Bryn Nally. She is responsible for a couple runners out there right now. 4 hits. It's just the 2 big swings, though, on the solo home runs that provided the 2 runs that she allowed to the Tigers, and she will make way for a redshirt junior from Villa Park, California. Sydney Summerdike, who spent the last 3 years at Arizona, made just 2 appearances last year, didn't play in 2024 due to injury, so really hasn't thrown significantly since a freshman season in 2023.
Coming in a tough situation, too, just as Missouri's building that offensive momentum. Going to see her throw pitches up in the zone, has a rise ball and an off speed, working on developing that drop ball. We saw that pitch a couple of times in their opening weekend. But right now trying to do whatever she can, especially with those pitches that are in the top part of the zone, seeing if she can get some of those fly ball outs to prevent these runners from advancing any further.
For the Tigers at first base, number 2, Danielle Blackstad.
Summerdike, this is her second relief appearance. The last one, she struck out all 3 batters she faced. First pitch is fouled back by Abby Carr. True freshman for Missouri, hitting 2 and 3 in the lineup. Oh, 1 to Carr. Little off speed. Carr lifts it to right center field, and it's down in the gap. It's going to score at least 1, maybe 2. It'll be 2. Big swing from the true freshman, Abby Carr.
This is where the preparation and the game planning comes into play during these ball games. You see a pitching change. The first changeup that she sees in this at bat, look at the location of that pitch too, almost about letter high, right at the Mizzou on the jersey, and she goes after it. Again, driving it the opposite way. We've seen that now a couple of times from these Missouri batters into the gap to bring across 2 more runs for Mizzou in this inning.
Carr is going to be ran for out at second base by Addie Kohler. Good job done for the freshman. Carr with her second career double, 5th RBI. Tinsley is out there in the bullpen for UCLA. We saw her go 7+ and take the loss against Oklahoma State. It was really good after the first inning. That's maybe an indicator of where UCLA feels like about this game. This is important to them to not start the weekend off 0-2.
Coach Lisa Fernandez walking on down there into the bullpen as well to check on Taylor Tinsley. Opening weekend through those 5 games. Only allowed 6 runs now between a game that went into extras and now 3 innings here in game 2, up to 8.
Two 2-0 from Summerdike to Abby Hay. This is a really important piece for Missouri because Abby Hay dealt with a little injury last year, so her numbers fell off from what was a really good freshman season in 2024. Big part of that super regional team. Hit .306 with 5 home runs, 23 RBIs, and was actually better in SEC play.
What I really appreciate about Abby Hayes' swing too, and you can tell by the way that Summerdike is throwing her on the inside half, is the way that she drives the ball to the opposite field. You see those numbers in 2024, over 300 batting average, 2025 down to 190. Dealing with some injuries and adjusting to how pitchers were throwing to her. But that 3-0 swing right there is a prime example of what you get from Abby Hay. A ton of power in the way that she keeps her hands inside of the ball, even pitches that are on the inner half, and still hits them with so much authority.
Ahead in the count, 3-1 against Summerdike. Inside, Abby Hay, deep left center, off the wall. And Hay is into second with an RBI double.
Abby Hay coming through again. It's another pitch inside. It's even further inside. This time she adjusts. She gets barreled just a little bit more out in front to be able to pull that one into the left center gap. Had some good carry on it off of the bat, Chucky. I thought it had a chance to make it out of here, but instead hits off of the very top of the wall, but still is going to drive in another run for the Missouri Tigers.
Tigers offense is alive and well in game 2 for them here at the Clearwater Invitational, since they've played here the last 2 weekends.
They have been in Clearwater for a couple of weeks now. That'll bring out Taylor Tinsley out of the bullpen. We just saw her down there down the right field line, and then after that Abby Hay double, UCLA is going to go ahead and make a pitching change, try to keep the score where it is. Not an easy spot for Taylor Tinsley either, after having thrown extra innings earlier today against Oklahoma State. Probably sat down, rested for a bit, then got back up into the bullpen, and now she finds herself right back into that circle. Pretty good pop on the mitt though. Mid-60s you're going to see from Tinsley, up in the zone. Rise ball, curve ball combination. We did see quite a bit of those drop balls. That's the pitch that she's worked on developing in this offseason, along with that changeup. There was a stretch in that Oklahoma State game earlier today. I believe she threw 5 changeups in a row, ended up with a couple of strikeouts on it. And a good problem to have if you're Marissa McCann, that your offense is putting up so many runs that you're going to go ahead and run down to the bullpen to keep your arm loose as well.
Something I've talked to Danielle Laurie and Amanda Scarborough about a little bit in the booth. Like, if there's a delay on the field, like sometimes you'll see hitters or pitchers not throw, and it'll be 2, 3, 4 minutes, and I think they're always on the side of like, maybe throw a couple pitches just to keep it loose.
Everybody's a little different in that too, and that's all part of going through these games, is you figure out what you need as an individual. Whether you're a pitcher, whether you're a pinch hitter too, because at times we'll see hitters go down there and taking some swings, getting ready for whenever their name is called. But whatever you need to be ready in that moment. I know I've talked to head coach Karen Weekly of the Tennessee Lady Volunteers about Carlin Pickens, and she is somebody that just doesn't need a lot of pitches to get warmed up. Apparently she just wakes up and starts throwing 75.
The arm is just going. Did you ever pinch hit in your career?
I'm sure I have. I just can't remember off the top of my head. Yes. I'm sure I have. If I can't remember, I probably didn't come through for my team, so maybe that's why I don't remember.
Short-term memory.
My dad would know. I'll ask my dad.
Abrascato, the first batter. Tinsley faces down 0-2 with the 1 out and a runner on second. Bryn Nally got the first batter of the inning out. It was Madison Updegrove, and then 5 straight base hits since then. 3 off Nally and 2 off Summerdike. Oh, and that just got Abrascato in the shoulder.
Looked like Tinsley was trying to come in with that changeup and just hung on to that pitch a little bit too long. Yeah, just floats right up out of her hand into the right shoulder of Abrascato.
The next batter is the third baseman, Sanaya Hill.
Outside corner, strike one to Sanaya Hill. Right down and got that. Fouls it. Nice catch down the right field line by Sadri Mayonio, who they actually really like in center field for the Bruins.
Another player who Coach Kelly Inouye Perez says plays great defense for them, and we're seeing it down the right field line. Ready at all times, even when she's not in the game. Although I wonder if she's like, hey, can that count for my defense? Can that count as an out?
Hill swings through it. This is into right field. Hay is going to take third base with now 2 outs after the strikeout of Hill.
After that strikeout, Alexis Ramirez looked like she was trying to pick off the runner over at first base, trying to catch Stefania Abriscato sleeping, and just ended up throwing that ball straight down into the dirt.
Emma Jackson, who's had a slow start to the season, off the end of the bat, foul territory just beyond the glove of Woolery. Jackson's one that, you know, like Abby Hay, how important she is bouncing back this year. They need Emma Jackson to get her back going after a great couple of years at East Carolina. In her first year at Virginia Tech. Off speed, fooled Jackson for strike two.
Jackson had 34 home runs during her time at East Carolina. Had 4 home runs in that first year, her freshman year at Virginia Tech that you were mentioning, Chucky.
One, two. Got her swinging. Tinsley comes in, gives up one base runner, and then strikes out 2.
For Missouri, it's Sophie Smith batting down in the 9th spot, getting things going for the Tigers. A solo shot to get the offense going in the 3rd. And how about the lift by her teammate, Abby Hay? Picture perfect. Loaded, LSU was able to get out of it, but ultimately it is Duke coming away with that win over the Tigers.
Oklahoma State, 3 one-run victories. Georgia's offense is going crazy right now, and then LSU just 1 and 2 in their first 3 games. McCann fields it and retires Alina Garcia to start the 4th.
I know we talked a little bit about Cassidy Curd earlier during this ball game, but what a game she threw. Complete game, 7 innings for her, and to have the stretch in the lineup for LSU, when you look at Sierra Daniel, Allie Hutchins, Tori Edwards, Macy Bajaran, none of those batters got a hit today. That is not easy to do because that is a stacked lineup top to bottom. When you're throwing up zeros for them, you know it's a good day out there in the circle.
Foul territory, nice grab up against the fence out in right field. The new right fielder is Danielle Blackston, getting to work quickly.
Never fails, Chucky. As soon as you enter the ball game, you can pretty much guarantee that you are going to have a ball end up coming your direction. And what a play by Danielle Blackston, going all the way up against that fence, running right into it, making a really nice grab. Marissa McCann fired up, knowing that her defense is going all out for her.
First pitch low to the new catcher, Alexis Ramirez. That's just the 3rd pitch of the inning. We've got 2 outs. Off the end of the bat and caught at shortstop by Updegrove. A 4-pitch fourth inning for Marissa McCann, who is spinning a gem and has to have Larissa Anderson fired up. We'll talk to her next. Hospital Clearwater Invitational. Bottom of the fourth, Missouri leading UCLA 5-1. We're joined by the Tigers' 8th-year head coach, Larissa Anderson. Coach, a couple big swings for some of your true freshmen. We were really excited to see them this weekend. What can you tell us about Abby Carr and Sydney Forrester?
I mean, they definitely have the potential. They are seeing the ball pretty well right now, and it was great for them to be able to capitalize in those situations.
I want to stick with your offense, Coach, because I feel like we're seeing a lot of adjustability in their swings so far in today's game. What are you seeing that's led to the run production early here?
I mean, we're swinging at good pitches. That's the thing. We're not trying to do something with a pitch that we're not able to handle. We're getting in really good hitters counts, and I think we're putting good swings on good pitches.
Appreciate it, Coach. Good
Thanks.
luck.
Thank you.
MIZ.
Well, Larissa Anderson seeing the progress. You see Abby Carr and Abby Hay in the dugout there. They've got all kinds of snacks and drinks. And
I don't know about you, but every time Coach Anderson says MIZ, I feel almost compelled to say ZOU.
Yeah. Well, you can do it. If you're brave enough.
I don't think she would hear me by the time that she's taking the headset off.
Shortstop, Madison Updegrove.
Well, the Tigers batted around back in the bottom of the third inning, so Madison Updegrove leading off for the second inning in a row.
This time against Taylor Tinsley, who came in, hit Stefania Brascata, the first batter she faced, and then back-to-back strikeouts and a ground out to get out of, or excuse me, back-to-back strikeouts to get out of the inning. I got confused by them batting around in my scorebook and saw the ground out that Updegrove led the inning off with. 2-0.
To Coach Anderson's point, I felt at times, whether it was last weekend or even watching their game earlier today, their swings, they were swinging at pitches that were very far out of the zone and swinging really big at them, trying to hit, it looked like, in my opinion, trying to hit home runs on every single swing. And you're going to have some of those swings where you swing and miss, or you think a pitch is going to end up here, or a pitcher just throws a great pitch and you tip your cap. But what can you do through the rest of the pitches to adjust, to be able to put the ball in play? And that's where I've seen improvement top to bottom, really, with this Missouri offense.
Back-to-back strikes for Tinsley to get back in it against Updegrove. Two-two, left side base hit from Madison Updegrove to start the fourth.
Perfect example of what we were just talking about. A couple of swings for Madison Updegrove where she's swinging outside of the zone, whether the pitch is up, whether it's an off-speed pitch down, but she still battles, gets to 2 strikes, and this is a rise ball in on the hands. Hits it hard, a hard line drive towards shortstop, just out of the reach of the diving Alina Garcia for a leadoff base hit.
First pitch popped up and out of play by Sophie Smith, the 9-hole who hit a solo home run last inning. The first of that 4-run third, and her first of the year. Only hit 1 last year. Oddly enough, Madison, I called the game. She had a grand slam against Ole Miss. Bunt on the right side. Tinsley fields it, throw to first, not in time. Back-to-back base runners for the Tigers in the fourth.
You can hear that Missouri dugout just coming to life. Sophie Smith hit the home run the last at bat. Well, this time around, she goes to lay down a sacrifice bunt, and it is a good one. Pushes it up that first base line. And both Taylor Tinsley and Jordan Woolery were both going for that bunt. And because Tinsley ended up kind of having to throw it over Woolery, allows Sophie Smith to leg that one out.
Now the top of the order with 2 on and nobody out. Kaylee Langer takes strike 1. 1 for 2 with a single and a run scored. Langer and Abby Hay, along with Sydney Forrester, have been the best 3 Missouri bats to start this season. Big swing from Langer, strike 2. The 8-9 hitters for the Tigers are 3 for 4 in this game. A lot of things we're seeing in this game from Missouri that we haven't really seen yet this season. Hopped up by Langer and out of play.
You know good things are happening too for your offense when all but one spot in the lineup has reached base safely so far in the ball game. Emma Jackson is the only one that hasn't reached, but she hit a hard line drive that ended up being a double play back in the 2nd inning.
Langer fights off an 0-2. Tennessee 11-0 on James Madison in the bottom of the 7th. So the Lady Vols going to start 2-0 and a really impressive win over Nebraska earlier today in a game that Jordy Fromm did start and Carlin Pickens did not start, but did come in relief.
Sage Marjetko with the start for the Lady Volunteers. Aaron Newer came in for an inning, and then Carlin Pickens ended up coming in for innings 5 through 7 against Nebraska.
I've always thought when you can beat somebody's ace without your ace in the circle, it's just Karen Weekly is going to sleep like a baby tonight. Big swing from Langer for out number 1. 3rd strikeout for Tinsley since entering.
Really good changeup, too, from Taylor Tinsley. You can see Kaylee Langer going over to Sydney Forrester, passing along that information. And changeup has been such a good pitch for Tinsley.
Danielle Blackston was out in right field for Sydney Forrester. She came in to run for last inning. And so Forrester re-enters to hit. Be interesting to see what Missouri does if they go back to Blackston defensively with this game moving into the 5th inning. UCLA's only got 3 more trips up, so thinking 1 at bat for Forrester versus maybe your defensive substitution.
Forrester is 2 for 2 so far today with a home run. A long home run at that.
1-1. First look at Tinsley. Inside, big swing from Forrester.
You can tell by some of these swings, too, just how deceptive that changeup is because they're so early on it. Out of the hand, even up here in the booth, to me, looks like it's a drop ball coming in. And all of a sudden, by the time you swing, you realize that pitch is in the low 50s.
1-2, ripped down the left field line. Hit the fence in foul territory. She's seeing it, though.
Yeah, Tinsley tried to come back-to-back with the changeups, and Forrester was all over it. Swings like that, though, when you put yourself in the hitter's mindset, you hit a hard line drive down the left field line on a changeup, you're probably thinking she's not going to go there again. What's she going to go to next? Possibly that rise ball, work it back up in the zone. Ends up missing away with a curveball. Good spot there, good 1-2 pitch. Doesn't miss by much, but makes the batter think, maybe I should swing at that.
Upstairs, got her. Out number 2, back-to-back strikeouts.
After that changeup, went outside with the curveball and then goes back to the bread and butter. Look at the rotation on that rise ball all the way at the top of the zone. Forrester looked like she tried to hold up, but it was too late. Another strikeout, 4 strikeouts now for Taylor Tinsley since she's entered the ball game.
The next batter is DH, Abby Carr.
2 outs. Inside corner, strike 1 to Abby Carr, who had a 2 RBI double as the first batter off of Sydney Summerdike last inning. Back-to-back strikeouts to start off the freshman Carr. Abby Carr, the 2025 Missouri Gatorade Player of the Year. She was 23-0 with a .24 ERA and 304 strikeouts in 144 2/3 innings. From Wildwood, Missouri. It's in the western part of St. Louis County, about an hour and 45 minutes from the Missouri campus. It's recruited heavily all over the country. Ended up staying home in the state of Missouri. 2-2, got her. Tinsley strikes out 3 straight to strand 2 leadoff runners.
After those strikeouts, I'd say that Taylor Tinsley is getting warmed up out there in the circle. Strikeout on the changeup, strikeout on the rise, and then another strikeout on the rise. 5 strikeouts for Taylor Tinsley tonight. So far.
Sydney Forrester's home run. This is the 9-hole for UCLA. Jolena Lamar, their left fielder, leading off the top of the 5th inning for the Bruins, who need some runs, down 4 to Missouri. First pitch outside, ball 1. She's got a crowd that has formed after that Duke win. There is mom, Marissa Young, the Duke head coach, as well as her sister right there, Layla Lamar, who plays for the Blue Devils.
How cool. You just finish up a game on the other field, just beat LSU. You get to turn around, walk over, and watch Jolena play for the UCLA Bruins.
Struck out her first time up, but we said it in that game against Oklahoma State, had some lasers hit to the left
hard,
side.
Right to people.
Foul ball. What a job Marissa Young has done at Duke in such a short amount of time. I mean, it's hard to imagine, really, Duke and Clemson, how young those programs still are and the success they've had.
I feel like you almost have to remind yourself how young those programs are just because they burst onto the scene and immediately made an impact. Household names across the country with how quickly they ascended up the ranks.
Marissa Young obviously very familiar with Missouri, having gone there in 2024 when they went to the Women's College World Series, their first in school history. Two. Foul back. True freshman, homered in her debut weekend for the Bruins. Off speed, got her swinging. Second time McCann has got Lamar.
Both of the strikeouts tonight against Lamar have come off of the changeup. She's setting up that pitch so well with the rise balls up in the zone, speeding up these batters, speeding up their swings, and then pulls the string on the changeup down in the zone.
Four and a third, 4 hits, 1 run, and 3 strikeouts for Marissa McCann. She retired the side in the first inning. It was the first time UCLA had gone down in order all year. Only 1 extra base hit. She's given up the 4 hits. 3 of them have been singles and then a hit batter, but that's the only free pass. It actually seems like McCann against couple of the best opponents Missouri's faced, has been at her best through a complete game in her season debut against Oregon. Gave up 8 hits, but only 3 earned runs, no free passes, and struck out 5. And then here tonight against UCLA. Ground ball left side, that's a base hit that gets through off the bat of the leadoff hitter, Riley Slimp.
The more and more I watch Riley Slimp, too, the more difficult I feel like it is for pitchers to game plan against her, because she has quick enough hands to be able to get to the inside part of the plate. But I know, Chucky, you and I were talking about this last game, too. She can throw her hands to those outside pitches. Even good quality pitchers' pitches, she can do damage with and hit them through to the outfield.
Slimp's moved over from left field to center field this year with Jessica Clements graduating. She's a pro now. Got drafted in the AUSL draft by the Chicago Bandits. Slimp on first base with 1 out, and Megan Grant at the plate, who is 0 for 2.
I was curious what they were going to do with the shift with the runner now on first base, and they are going right back into the same shift that they've had against Grant.
Lifted to center field, into the sky, into the night, and gone! Megan Grant, for the 2nd time today, for the 7th time this season, has left the yard.
She knew it right off of the bat, too, when she made contact with that one. Has her arm around Taylor Tinsley as she walks back into the dugout. This is a rise ball. She gets her hands right to that pitch so quick with that action to get that barrel on plane with that softball. Hits the bottom half of the ball. That's where she's going to be able to get that carry all the way over our cameras out in center field.
Did she get it all? I mean, look how far that went. I'm not sure she barreled it.
That's just how much power she has in that swing. She's always had that power too. I remember before her freshman year watching some YouTube videos of her swing when she was in high school, and there's just something about the smoothness and the explosiveness that she has coming from the left side to be able to hit a variety of different pitches. Even today, we've seen her hit a home run on a rise ball, and we've seen her hit a home run on a changeup.
McCann's got to settle back in now in the 5th. Jordan Woolery at the plate, takes ball 2 down low. Abby Carr, who we have seen offensively, is now warming up in the bullpen to potentially replace McCann in this game. 2-1 to Woolery. 3-1. Megan Grant hit 26 home runs last year. It was a Big Ten single season record. She is averaging 1 per game this year so far.
I'd say if she keeps on that pace, it's going to be a pretty good season. Hit 3 home runs in 1 game last weekend in their opening weekend. One of the home runs, too, she hit right down the right field line. And watching it on video, it looked like it maybe got 6 or 7 feet off of the ground. Just a laser shot out to right.
Well, you've said it too, though, that she's not really going to have to deal with teams avoiding her because there's nowhere to go. You're going to Jordan Woolery and Kanaya Bragg.
You have to throw to him. You have to throw, and that's exactly the mindset behind setting up the lineup this way, to make it difficult for pitchers to pitch around them.
Woolery walks.
With that comes the discipline and the balance to be able to be patient and have that trust in your teammate behind them. To have your trust in Jordan Woolery and Kanaya Bragg just as a sophomore, but like Coach Inoue Perez told us, having those moments, being able to step up as a freshman just leads to the confidence that somebody like Kanaya Bragg brings into this season.
How about this game going on right now in the bottom of the 2nd? Jordan Clark and Florida Atlantic leading Florida State 3-1. We'll get a chance to see Florida Atlantic later this weekend, but that's a team that has a chance to win a lot of games. They've won 40 or more the last 2 seasons. And Jordan Clark told us in our calls this week, they wanted this. Her team, when they got the opportunity, they heard they could come to Clearwater. They said, oh no, we're going. Florida State was about a foot away from potentially beating Texas Tech yesterday. So you know how good Lonnie Alameda's team is. Game also on ESPN Plus. And 2 on and 2 outs in the bottom of the second for the Owls. You know when you don't want to play the Owls? At night.
There's your pun for the game.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. The pun I didn't know that I needed.
McCann in a 1-0 count to Kanaya Bragg. Catches the outside corner, strike 1.
A lot of really good hitters for that Florida Atlantic team, too. Kylie Hammonds with a single that drove in a run today. I know you and I chatted a lot before the start of this invitational, and when we were talking about Florida Atlantic, the first thing that came to mind was all the bats that they have top to bottom in that lineup and how difficult of a lineup it is to navigate.
We'll have Florida Atlantic James Madison on Sunday. How about that for knowing our schedule?
So many good matchups. So much softball. I don't think the smile has left my face since we started getting games going yesterday.
Yeah, we've been really fortunate to have some extremely competitive matchups on our schedule so far in these first couple days. Off speed, fools Bragg. That is a big pitch from McCann for the second out.
It's the way that she's able to set up this pitch too. Such good depth on the changeup. You get these batters thinking about that rise ball, and then you have that changeup in your back pocket to be able to bust out when you need to. And the fact that she's able to throw it in the strike zone too is where she's getting those swings.
Ball 1 to Brie Alejandre. Strike 1. Such a cool dynamic with Alejandre at the plate and her travel ball teammate, Alina Garcia, on deck. They'll make up the left side of the UCLA infield for the next 4 years. Both of them are freshmen. Alejandre, a true freshman. Garcia, a redshirt freshman. There's Alina. Injured about a month into the season last year and was able to redshirt. She was basically Bruins starting shortstop as a true freshman.
She was off to a good start too. She was batting .333 through 39 at-bats last season with a couple of home runs.
Two. Left field, no doubt about it. Brie Alejandre, a rising star in college softball.
Two-run home run, Brie Alejandre.
Brie Alejandre is making sure that the entire softball world remembers her name. Comes up with 2 outs. It's a rise ball out over the plate. She knows it immediately. After that changeup, back-to-back changeup, missed down in the dirt. She's hunting for that rise ball. She gets it, and she sends it out of the yard. Her second game-tying home run today. She had a solo shot that tied up the game earlier today against Oklahoma State, and she does it again here against Missouri.
There was only one thing wrong with that play. Do you know what it was?
Tigers is number 28, Abby
She dropped the Lego from Lisa Fernandez.
Yeah.
So UCLA tradition, it seems like, getting something from the third base coach.
By the way she's swinging it, I would say she's going to get a lot more practice at catching the Lego after rounding third base.
The 5 through 9 hitters before that swing for UCLA were just 1 for 9. Top 4 was making some stuff happen, but the rest of the lineup was struggling. Let's take a look.
Oh, there's the Lego. You can see it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, no.
She was so focused on celebrating with her teammates that she's like, I'm going to get the Lego later. I want to get to home plate.
The funny part about that is, and we actually talked to Kelly Inouye Perez about it, I think it was the first home run that she hit. She hit 2 in a game. She ran past it and didn't realize that it was, and so they gave her a lot of grief about it. And so she was very deliberate in catching it the next time.
The Lego was in her hands. We saw that from our view. It just popped out. Maybe a little backspin that Coach Fernandez was putting on that Lego as she's tossing it to her.
She didn't make a football move. It was not a catch. Abby Carr is now in, the true freshman, who is exceptional, and I think going to be exceptional both at the plate and in the circle. But this is a big moment for her.
Another exciting two-way player, too. We've got a lot of two-way players here down in Clearwater. Going to bring the heat to upper 60s. Going to throw that curveball on both sides of the plate. Also going to use that changeup quite a bit. There's that changeup. Good look at it right on cue. Pumps it in there for strike 1. I like that, establishing that she's not afraid to throw that changeup in any count.
One count to Garcia. Up and away, ball 2. Just needs the 1 out to get out of this 5th inning and give Missouri Bats a chance to retake the lead. Abby Carr enters the weekend a 1-0 record, a 1.35 ERA, and a 1.43 opponent batting average, and freezes Garcia with that pitch to bring it to a 2-2 count. Two lifted in the foul territory down the left field line.
How about a battle of the bullpens now? We've seen both bullpens make nice catches down the line. Yeah, we saw you on that catch. That was a nice catch.
There's no doubt that if Missouri is going to make the postseason, Abby Carr is going to have to be a big part of it, both in the circle and at the plate. And so far, she's shown signs that she will be able to do that for them. Bounces it in for ball 3.
This is a time for her to, especially as a freshman, not just navigating one part of the game, but trying to find that balance both in the circle and up at the plate. Making sure that you're ready for both of them, but also you're being thrown into the fire in this tournament. You're facing tough competition game after game. Here she is coming in relief against UCLA in a tie ball game. In a game where Missouri is looking for wins. They are trying to get these wins, especially top 10 wins against a team like UCLA. So Coach Larissa Anderson putting her in a big spot.
Strike 1 to Ramsey Suarez, who is 0 for 2 at the plate. Suarez from Temecula, California, went to Great Oak High School. 0-1 in there for a strike, 0-2. The changeup, Frozer.
Couple of big home runs by the UCLA Bruins to tie up this ball game. The first one by Megan Grant, her 56th home run of her career, so she's pretty used to catching things as she's rounding third base. Bri Alejandre with her 5th career home run. She drops the Lego, but you know what? She ties the game.
These are the first 4, 9 a.m. Eastern, bright and early. Texas A&M, NC State, then Duke, Oklahoma State, with a trio of games kicking off at 10 Eastern, UCF, LSU. That one's an interesting one. I'm gonna have my eye on that one. And then Missouri and Northwestern. I'd like to be out there right now. That'd be fun.
Looks like a great view. Think we could call the game from the boat out there in the middle of the ocean?
The technology today, of course we could.
Put that in the back pocket for next year.
Missouri needs to respond. 4 UCLA runs in the 5th inning in what's kind of their first offensive explosion of the weekend, because their 3 runs against Oklahoma State all came in separate innings. Kanaya Bragg handles the Abby Hay pop-up. Two leadoff hitters got on in the 4th against Tinsley, and then she struck out 3 batters in a row. 5 strikeouts since entering, with 1 out in the 3rd. Stefania Abrascato at the plate. Here's strike 1 from Tinsley. Abrascato was just a freshman on that super regional team in 2024. Got to play with some unbelievable players. Jenna Laird and Alex Honnold, a couple of them. Lauren Krings in the circle was excellent for the Tigers. Off speed, Abrascato sends this high into right center. And Megan Grant makes the catch, 2 outs.
A couple of quick outs for Taylor Tinsley, too, after her offense put up 4 runs in the top of this inning. Now a quick 2 outs after that fly ball out to the outfield.
Sanaya Hill 0 for 1, was hit by a pitch, her first trip to the plate in the 2nd. Rips this into left center field. Sanaya Hill headed for 2nd. No messing around.
Wasting no time at all. Sanaya Hill gets a really good piece of this ball. Looks like a pitch that's up at the top of the zone. One of those rise balls that just doesn't quite rise, or actually maybe I think that was a curveball that was supposed to be away. Ends up backing up on Taylor Tinsley a bit, and Sanaya Hill takes complete advantage of it, driving it hard into that left center gap. Able to make it easily over into second base for the stand-up double, her first double this season.
Gives Emma Jackson a chance now, who is 0 for 2. She takes the first pitch for a strike. Outside ball 1. Jackson just 1 hit on the season, doesn't have an extra base hit yet. She has walked about 5 times. One of the best marks on the team. Chases a pitch out of the zone, 1-2. Great spot from Tinsley. Strikeout number 6 for the Bruins senior.
Really nice job bouncing back after that double to Sanaya Hill. Immediately follows it up with a strikeout. Pitch on the outside corner freezes Emma Jackson for Tinsley's 6th strikeout of the night.
Just 2 games going on to finish off day 2. Florida Atlantic, they're showing you right now how they built this lead over Florida State. On field 8, Missouri and UCLA tied at 5 apiece as we go to the top of the 6th inning. First full inning of work for the freshman Abby Carr. See, Florida Atlantic just couldn't get it going against Texas Tech, and here they are against Florida State, 5 for 11, and really nicely done with runners in scoring position.
They've had some clutch hits by Carson Davey, Kylie Hammonds, Lily Holche with another one too. They are just stacking on the runs against Florida State. Autumn Courtney in the circle for them too, has gone 3 innings so far in this game, just giving up 2 hits, 1 earned run.
They are winning at a high level under Jordan Clark. Over for a legend of the game, the late Joan Joyce. That might be the biggest, I don't want to say surprise is the right word, but the most impressive win of the weekend of Florida Atlantic, and it's still early, but if they can beat Florida State, that's a statement from that team early in the year.
Absolutely. A top 10 win is going to be huge for Florida Atlantic.
This backhand and throw by Sophie Smith to retire Ramirez. Missouri was up 5-1 through 3 innings, and then UCLA figured it out in the 5th. A couple 2-run home runs, Megan Grant and Brie Alejandre. Just a few batters apart, changing the complexion of this game. Jolena Lamar fooled by that first pitch. Strike 1. She has struck out twice in the game. Both against Marissa McCants. This is her first look at the freshman Abby Carr. That speed freezes her for strike 2.
Both of the strikeouts today for Lamar have both come off of changeups too, so no surprise that Abby Carr is pumping in another off speed. Would not be surprised if she throws another one in here.
0-2, there it is. Just misses.
And throw it again. Good spot. Good miss. And come back with another changeup.
Got her swinging.
So many times throughout this tournament already, Chucky, I'm realizing why I'm not a pitching coach, because we did not go back to the changeup there. Instead, it's that curveball away, and she gets her swinging. But by that swing, I think Jolena Lamar thought she might see another changeup there. Nice job mixing it up to get another strikeout for Abby Carr.
Second strikeout for Carr, the bunt back to her, and the fired throw to first is in time. Abby Carr, for the 2nd time this year, UCLA retired in order. Abby Carr doesn't look like a true freshman. No, over the next 4 years, she is a rising star, played an excellent third base for UCLA, and has a bat to go with it. (8-9-1) to face Taylor Tinsley for Missouri. Madison Updegrove is 1 for 2 with a single. That single led off the 4th inning, in which they got Updegrove and Sophie Smith on back-to-back before 3 straight strikeouts. Ball 1 inside. back, strike two. Talked about the responsibility that Taylor Tinsley will hold this year in this UCLA staff. There's no doubt she's going to dominate their innings, but also giving some of these young arms a chance to, one, not necessarily get thrown into tough situations too early in the year, with her pitching in both of these games tonight, as that's just foul. I gotta think, just to watch someone like her as a young pitcher coming in gives you a lot of confidence and kind of know-how, how college softball goes.
I think to watch her work and watch her continue to develop throughout her career too. We talked about it earlier, how she's really worked this offseason on developing that down pitch, that drop ball to go with her curveball and her rise ball and her changeup, just knowing that there's this concept of never being satisfied and always continuing and striving to want to get better. What is that extra inch that I can give my game to help my team win more games? And you're seeing her continue to work that way throughout her entire career.
There's another strikeout, the 7th for Tinsley.
Goes right back to that rise ball after Madison Updegrove had the base hit on the rise ball back in the 4th inning against Tinsley. After that swing down the right field line, works this one back up in the zone. Really good looking pitch. That bread and butter pitch for Taylor Tinsley, that rise up.
Now against Sophie Smith, that's ball one. You talked about the offseason work. Kelly Inouye Perez also told us about that for Taylor Tinsley and said she really wanted to work. She wanted to work with Lisa Fernandez in the fall, and Kelly was kind of like, man, if you're going to work with Lisa, you better bring it, because she is all about it.
She does not make it easy. She does not make it easy on you, but that's what you want as a competitor. The ultimate competitor being Lisa Fernandez, too, to be able to learn from her and how she works her bullpens, and whether it's a specific pitch or pitch sequencing or how you handle certain situations. Always trying to soak up as much knowledge as you possibly can from not just the players on your team, but the coaches that you have on the staff.
There is a standard at UCLA that is nearly unmatched in the country. There's a couple other programs, but it is national championships. That's what they are looking for. They've done it more than anyone in the country. Lisa Fernandez has been a part of a lot of those. 12 Women's College World Series titles. 2019 with Rachel Garcia was the last. There is strike three to get Smith.
Really good looking off-speed pitch there. A bit of a smile by Taylor Tinsley out there in the circle. Strikeout number 8. That over-the-top movement. Really nice job, too, by Alexis Ramirez, who's back there behind the plate. Looked like she was set up maybe a little bit more outside, but reaches her right hand across her body to get that strike called.
What's really cool about Taylor Tinsley's journey and kind of the recent history of UCLA is it's kind of been passed down. Tinsley was a freshman when Megan Faremo was a senior. Brooke Yanez was on that staff too. When UCLA won it in 2019, Faremo was a freshman and Rachel Garcia was a senior. So you've just kind of seen the transitions, kind of the handing of the torch to some of the new Bruins to carry it on. Tinsley misstepped or mishandled the ball.
Bit of a misstep as she was coming off of the rubber, hung on to the ball, even though she had already started her motion. Sometimes things happen, but you know what? You move on, you flush it, and you move right on to the next pitch.
Unger swings through it, strike two.
To your point, Chucky, though, that's all about the culture that Coach Inouye Perez talks about, passing on that information and helping the underclassmen grow so that they're ready to step up into that role when their time comes. like that foul ball might have gotten our home plate umpire, Destiny Robinson. Hard foul ball off of the bat of Kaylee Langer. Looks like she's okay. She's back in there. Alexis Ramirez checking on her too, making sure that she's all right.
In the dirt, Tinsley kind of lost the handle on that pitch too, so Langer in a full count with 2 outs, nobody on. Fouled up and out of play. Ball 4.
Good take by Kaylee Langer because that pitch did not miss by much. 61 miles per hour coming in. Looked like that drop ball maybe missing a bit low.
Next batter, right fielder, Sydney Forrester.
Sydney Forrester, 2 for 3, a solo home run and a single. Bottom of the 6th, takes that first pitch, down and in, ball 1. Forrester up the middle, and Tinsley knocks it down to retire the side. 2-3-4. Megan Grant leads it off. Next inning for UCLA.
Already a couple of home runs in this tournament. Will she go yard again? Find out next.
For UCLA in the 3rd, 4 in the 5th. And here we are tied up going to the 7th inning with Megan Grant leading things off. Bree Alejandre due up 4th this inning. They have produced almost all the runs today, especially on those 4 big swings.
Yeah, you're getting a lot of damaged swings between Grant Woolery, Kanaya Bragg, and Bree Alejandre, but really it's been Alejandre and Grant that have had the biggest 2 swings so far for UCLA today.
Strike 1 to Megan Grant. Abby Carr in the circle to try to give Missouri a chance to walk it off. And Abby Carr will lead off the bottom of the 7th for the Tigers offensively. There's the changeup just missing. Two one. Off speed, Grant to right center! She did it again! Megan Grant is built different. 8 home runs on the season.
A changeup coming in here, the second changeup that she saw within this at-bat. The first one missed for a ball, then she brought in a curveball, throws the changeup even lower in the zone. You can see that slight hesitation or sink into that front leg. What that does is it changes her timing to be able to get to that changeup. And even Abby Carr knows, hey, I just threw a great pitch. but a great hitter just hit that one out of the ballpark. Sometimes all you can do is tip your cap to the hitter, especially the heater that Megan Grant has been on.
Her home run average over the last 10 at-bats is 600. She's hit 6 home runs in her last 10 at-bats.
Home run average, a new stat.
That's just for
Add
her.
it to the books.
It's hard, you just never know what you're going to see. You never know when a historic season's going to come around, and it's still early. But Megan Grant has hit 8 home runs in 7 games for UCLA. We saw what she did a season ago, and the pace she's on right now is just absurd.
Oh yeah, she's playing on the UCLA women's basketball team as well. Let's make sure to throw that in there too. Just an overall athlete. To be this locked in though, this early in the season, her swings, it doesn't matter what you're throwing in there, she is all over it.
For Abby Carr, she's got to try and bounce back against another first-team All-American and Jordan Woolry. Ground ball left side, picked up by Updegrove, low throw, but they do retire Woolry for the first out.
Good location too, keeping that pitch low in the zone. A really difficult play for Madison Updegrove too. We've seen a couple of the hops, especially over in that shortstop position throughout today's ball games, where that second hop, that last hop is jumping up or staying down. We've seen both examples today, and she stayed down on that one and fired it across for out number 1. That's a way to have your pitchers back on that ground ball.
Ball 1 to Kanaya Bragg. Couple hits and an RBI in the game for her. One. The 6-5 lead in the 7th inning of their second game is UCLA's first lead today. Fell behind early against Oklahoma State thanks to a 3-run shot from Rosie Davis. Strike 2. If UCLA is cheering or anything like that, and you take a shot at the dugout, Megan Grant is typically leading the charge. Which I always think when your best player, one of your best players, is that type of personality, does so much for your team. That is painted down the third base line, and Bragg is going to get into second with a double. Second double in this game for Kanaya Bragg.
Bragg got this one right off of the end of the bat, takes a couple of hops, and it lands. It looked like it hit right off of third base. It does. Tough break for Sanaya Hill, who was trying to make a play on that ball down the line, but it hit straight off of the third base bag, went down into foul territory down that left field line, and it's good for Kanaya Bragg's second double this season.
They're going to run for Bragg at second base.
4 for 33.
Riley Pinedo, redshirt junior from Camarillo, California.
He's running at second, number 4, Riley Pinedo.
Here's Bri Alejandre. They now have 3 players with at least 5 home runs, and she leads all Division I freshmen with 5.
That's not RBIs, that's home runs. Home runs for Megan Grant and Bri Alejandre.
And Woolry has 5. Those 3 have more than most teams. I mean,
and Kanaya Bragg has 3 home runs already.
Sophia Mujica has 3 home runs.
Yep. I would say that it's a good problem to have if you're the coaching staff for UCLA, that your players are almost having this competition to see who can hit the most home runs on the team. And it's a battle between a lot of different players.
(2-0). 3-0 now to Alejandre. Well, the bottom of the UCLA order has struggled. Do you just let this one go?
With the
3-0 count, do you just put her on first?
I'd throw another changeup in here. Wrong again. I like that changeup. I feel like the pitch before, it maybe just missed a little bit high. I feel like it's a really good pitch for her, though. The way that she's able to mix it back and forth between that curveball and that changeup, and I do think that you're to the point now where you've got to go after these batters. There she goes, back-to-back curveballs, gets herself right back into this count. Maybe Bri Alejandre, too, thinking, I'm going to take a couple of pitches here after Abby Carr falls behind in the count.
That pitch you're talking about, Missouri has felt like a couple of those have been in there for strikes, too, and it's cost them a little bit. Ball 4.
Tries to go 3 curveballs in a row there. That last one she just hangs on to a bit too long. Allows another free pass to get on board.
Next batter, shortstop, Alina Garcia.
So Karen Johns, our stat guru, came up with this, by the way. The 18 home runs for the UCLA trio, more than all teams in Division I entering the day except for Alabama. Bunt attempt by Garcia just misses, and it's smothered behind the plate by Abrascato.
Alabama got off to quite the start last weekend in Atlanta, playing against a couple of games against Georgia Tech. Vic Moten was really good for them, a freshman pitcher in the circle, but the offense too. Marley Giles, Aubrey Vandegrift as well.
Oh, 0-2 count to Garcia. Ball 1 outside. Talked to Patrick Murphy a few weeks ago. Was there for a basketball game. He showed up and asked him about Vandegrift. He said she got in the weight room in the off season. Big time. And she was an impressive athlete a year ago as a freshman. 2-2.
Remember Bama coming here to Clearwater Invitational last season too, and us talking about Vandegrift and the speed that she brings to, and what a difference maker that was going to be for their team. Good season for Alabama last year too, making it all the way to the Super Regional in Norman. Ended up losing both games against Oklahoma.
Another close pitch. You can kind of hear the groans from the Missouri side of the field.
And I think Bri Alejandre for a second might have thought that that was strike 3. It looked like she kind of took a step towards that UCLA dugout. Coach Larissa Anderson not happy about not getting some of these calls.
Full count. Garcia fouls it off.
I think I said Bri Alejandre moving over towards the dugout. I meant to say Alina Garcia. My apologies.
3-2, driven into center field. Langer took a step in but makes the catch. 2 outs. Well, what a turn in the 4th inning of our game next door. Florida State now leading Florida Atlantic 5-4. You know that lineup is just loaded. Jason E. Beecham at the plate now, and many others.
Issa Torres with a clutch hit for the Seminoles. Marin Heller, a freshman for them, with another clutch hit for them as well. Hard foul ball off the bat of Jason E. Beecham. Autumn Courtney for the Owls.
Ground ball, flipped to second just in time. And Abby Carr does a nice job limiting the damage. 3-4-5. Carr leads it off in the bottom of the 7th.
Impact player brought to you by Visit St. Pete Clearwater. And for the UCLA Bruins, that impact player is Megan Grant. She came into today with 5 home runs last weekend. She hit a home run in Game 1 against Oklahoma State earlier today. And she's hit not 1, but 2 home runs tonight against the Missouri Tigers. She is hitting everything, and she is hitting everything hard so far this season.
Almost hard to believe it's just her 6th career multi-home run game, if I'm being honest. Missouri looking for another top 10 win. While unranked, it would be their 9th, which is the most in Division I over the last 2 seasons. Anderson cleaning some stuff up with our home plate umpire right now, and a conversation with the first 2 hitters, Abby Carr and Abby Hay for Missouri. First pitch. Ball 1 from Taylor Tinsley, who has struck out 8 Missouri Tigers since entering this game with 1 out in the 3rd inning. Strike 1.
I always think about the turnaround time, too, for these two-way players like Abby Carr. The freshman for Missouri just faced 6 batters in the top of the 7th inning, turns around, and she's the leadoff batter to start things off for the Tigers in the bottom of the 7th with her team down a run.
Speed fouls it off to the left side, 1-2. She's doubled in this game, and she struck out twice. Two-two. This is some high-intensity, late-inning drama for UCLA in their first 2 games here in Clearwater. Tennessee and Florida State tomorrow, and then LSU on Sunday to wrap up their 5-game weekend. Inside, Carr high to left field. Not going to have enough juice. And it's caught out there by Slimp, who has moved over from center.
Really good swing, though, by Abby Carr. She just missed that one. Felt like she got it more on the sweet spot of the barrel, but maybe just a bit too far underneath that softball. That swing was on time, though.
Abby Hay, certainly somebody who can change the game with 1 swing. First pitch, slow roller right side. Bragg stays down on it, and there's 2 outs.
Really have to stick with those ground balls, even on that one. Kanaya Bragg, a slow developing ground ball, but you could see the spin that it had on it. She made sure to stay down, followed all the way to her glove for out number 2.
Last chance for the Tigers. Stefania Abriscato. Hit by a pitch. She was the first batter to face Tinsley back in the 3rd. Off the handle, right to Tinsley, and UCLA comes back from a 5-1 deficit and knocks off the Missouri Tigers.
We saw UCLA be able to battle their way back, not just within this game, but after the extra innings loss to Oklahoma State, to have basically 30 minutes to flush it, move on, found themselves behind early in the game, but still battled back. Megan Grant with 2 home runs in tonight's game against the Missouri Tigers helps the UCLA Bruins get a win today.
Career win number 42 for Taylor Tinsley, her 3rd of the season, and UCLA is off to a 6-1 start with a great response to beat Missouri with some more late inning drama. 13 games tomorrow, and we will see you there. For my partner Madison Shipman and our entire awesome crew here in Clearwater, I'm Chucky Kemp. Have a good night.